Hello everyone. Today's concept is lens. A lens is a optical medium which is bounded by two surfaces in which at least one is a spherical or a cylindrical surface. So such type of optical medium which is we can call it as lens. The commonly used lenses are both surfaces are made up of spherical surface, or it may be one surface is separate spherical, another surface is plane, like this. The both may be spherical surfaces like this. This is a biconvex lens. Biconvex lens, or one side is spherical, another side is plane. This is plano-convex lens, or it may be the surface may be spherical surface may be convex or concave, like this. So this is what we can call it as lenses. There are different types of lenses are there, in which this is a biconvex lens, plano-convex lens. One side is plane, another side is convex, and this is plano-concave lens. One side is a plane, another side is concave. This is the plano-concave lens and biconcave lens, like this. These are the some commonly used lenses. Then see, just I told that there is a convex lens. Convex lens, wait. See, the convex lens is thicker at the middle and thinner at the edges. This is we can call it as convex lens. Then it is also called as a converging lens. Nothing but when a parallel beam of light which is incident on the lens, then these rays are converges at a point on the principal axis. So these rays are converges at a point on the principal axis. So this is what we can call it as converging. This type of lenses we can call it as converging lens. Converging lens is nothing but when a parallel beam of light which is incident on the lens, and using this lens, these rays are converges at a single point on the principal axis. This is what we can call it as converging lens, and this is also called it as convex lens. Then another one is a concave lens. Now I taken concave lens, or you can call it as a biconcave lens. Here it is made like this, the thinner at the edge, middle, and thicker at the edges, opposite to this one. Here convex lens is thicker at the middle and thinner at the edges, but concave is thinner at the middle, thicker at the edges. This is the concave lens. So, and which is also called as diverging lens. Here, after refractions, when a parallel beam of light after refraction, so it becomes diverges. These rays are diverges. Then, so which is appears like this is a principal axis, and these rays are appears like diverging from a single point on the principal axis, which is appears like a diverging from a single point on the principal axis. This type of lenses we can call it as diverging lens. Again, there are some important terms are here in the lens, which are principal axis, optical center, and radius of curvature, center of curvature, like this. Now I will explain those concepts. Imagine, so this is a convex lens, principal axis. See, what is this principal axis? I told this many times, this word. So now the principal axis is nothing but this is a straight line passing through two center of curvature of these two surfaces. So this is what we can call as the principal axis of the lens. The principal axis of a lens is nothing but it is a straight line passing through a center of curvature of two surfaces. See, this is one surface, its center of curvature is somewhere here, and this is another surface, its center of curvature is this side, and the line which is passing through these two, this is what we can call it as principal axis. This is the first thing. Then second thing is optical center. What is that optical center? See, optical center is nothing but it's a point on the principal axis inside the lens. See, this is a point on the principal axis inside the lens, and a ray, if any ray passes through this, and which is moved parallel to the initial ray like this. See, for example, if the ray which is passes through the lens like this, then after refraction also it passes like this, and this is a parallel to the incident ray. So this is what we can call it as, this point is we can call it as optical center, which is present inside the lens. Then, so next thing is about principal focus. So what is the principal focus? The principal focus you can take a convex lens or concave lens. I am explaining concave lens too. See, when a parallel beam of light which is incident on the lens, and these rays are, this line is the principal axis, these are the parallel beam of light when which is incident on the lens, there is a refraction takes place because light is traveling from one medium to another medium here. That's why there is a change in the path. So due to refraction process, all the rays are merges at a single point. This point we can call it as, this point we can call it as principal focus, which is represented by capital F. It is in case of convex lens, and this is the in case of concave lens. When a parallel beam of light, this is the principal axis, when a parallel beam of light which is incident on the concave lens, convex lens, and these rays are diverges like this, and which are appears to diverging from a single point. These rays are appears to diverging from a single point on the principal axis. This is what we can call it as principal focus. Here all the rays are focused at a single point. This is what we can call it as principal focus. Then one more term we want to define, that is focal length. Focal length is represented by small f. So small f focal length nothing but, so optical center is which is indicated by O. Now the distance from the principal focus to optical center, this is distance we can call it as focal length. Focal length is defined as, it is the distance between the principal focus and optical center. This is what we can call it as focal length, which is represented by small f. Here the same case like this, here this is the f and here is the optical center O. Hence the distance from optical center to then principal focus, this distance we can call it as focal length in both in case of convex and concave lenses. These are the some definitions or important terms in the lenses. Now we are going to derive a derivation, that is lens maker formula. So dear students, let us discuss one of the very important derivation in the ray optics topic, that is a lens maker formula. So it's a very important derivations for your theory examination. See, let us consider a thin biconvex lens. I'm explaining this, so this derivation is applicable for both convex as well as concave lens. So I'm explaining using convex lens. See, let us consider a biconvex lens of two surfaces A, B, C. One surface A, D, C is the another surface, and there is a principal axis this is the principal axis, nothing but the line passes through to center of curvature. Object and this is a optical medium, or we can call it as a lens. So this is a lens of a refractive index N2 surrounded by a medium of its refractive index is N1. Hence, let us consider an object. Let us consider an object O which is present on the principal axis, and there are two rays are emerging from O now. One ray is along with the principal axis. One ray is along with the principal axis. Then another ray which is incident on the P on the lens, and which is this ray is emerges refracted as a PQ and emerges and incident on the principal axis at the point I. See, two rays are emerging from O and nothing but an object here. So here two rays are emerging. One ray is along the principal axis and another ray is a OP, and refraction as a PQ and emerges as a QI. And finally, so this is the real image of the object O at a distance V from the optical center. This is an image distance. The distance from image to optical center is called as image distance, and the U be the object distance. This is the distance from object to optical center. This is we can call it as object distance, and the two, so radius of curvature of a two surface of a lens, that is R1 and R2, and this is the basic diagram of the lens maker formula derivation. The image formation from the object O seems to be in the two steps as follows. Then here, so this diagram can be divided into two now. So I am going to split this lens as imaginary. See, so first I will take a surface A, B, C. So now I am going to take the surface A, B, C at the one side. This is the surface A, B, C. Here this is the principal axis, this is the principal axis, and O be the object. From object, one ray is passing along the principal axis, another ray which is incident as a OP on the lens, and refraction takes place. After refraction, so the inside the lens there is a virtual image is formed. This is as a I1. Virtual image is formed as a I1 with the image distance V1. So this is one surface, and I will split this as two surfaces. This is ABC surface, and now remaining surface is ADC. ADC. This is the remaining surface ADC. Here, see, in the second surface ADC, so this object, the object is here, then its image is I1. Now for the second surface it is difficult. So if for the second surface, so now I am going to tell this. So this image, virtual image. So this virtual image is considered as a virtual object for the second surface ADC. Hence, so here this I1 is considered as a virtual object for the second surface ADC. Once this ray is incident on the surface ADC, and this will be which forms the image I here, and this is the real image I at a distance V. The object distance is considered as a V1 for the second surface ADC. These are the for refraction of the first surface ABC, like here ABC, then here the object O is on the principal axis, and which from the O the ray is OP, which is incident on the surface ABC of refractive index N1, and after refraction that forms an image I1 here. So the first surface I am taking now. So for this is the first surface imaginary diagram. Inside here this one is, and so the after refraction which forms the image I1, this is a virtual image, and its distance then nothing but image distance is considered to be V1. Then by the use of refraction at a spherical surface relation, so we can write this expression as, so according to that, so I told that in the relation between refraction at the single spherical surface is, that is N2 by, like that is like this, N2 by V1 minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by R. This is the relation of the object distance and image distance in terms of diffractive index and radius of curvature. This is refraction at the spherical surface relation. So using this relation we can write this as, see, so image is considered as our image distance is considered to be V1, which is present inside the lens, and the refractive index of a lens inside the lens you can consider as a N2. Hence this is N2 by V1 minus, then so this is object distance. So object distance is U here, object distance is U, and which is present in the this medium. This is a rarer medium, of its refractive index is N1. Of its refractive index is N1. Then this is equal to, say like that, N2 minus N1 divided by R. See here, this is a surface of its radius of curvature is taken as r1. Then, so this is equation number 1 here. Then come to the second surface, that is the second surface ADC. In the second surface ADC, here there is no object O. Hence, so this image I1 is considered to be a virtual object. Hence, so this object distance is V1 now. Then, so after refraction, which forms the real image at distance V. Hence, the equation becomes, that is, so image is here V, which is, see here, this is a image, real image, and its image distance is V. That's why I wrote here this image distance V, which is present in the rarer medium of its refractive index is N1 minus, so and its object distance, see, so in the second surface ADC there is no object, hence I1 is considered as a virtual object, hence its virtual object distance is V1. This is V1 and this is present inside the lens of its refractive index is considered to be N2. Then, so according to that, this becomes, see here, N2 minus N1 in the first equation, but in the second equation it is N1 minus N2, hence it is N1 minus N2 divided by, and the radius of curvature of the second surface is R2. A slight adjustment, we need the expression like this. At the RHS, it requires N2 minus N1 form. Hence, by slight adjustment, it can be written as N1 by V minus N2 by V1 is equals to, so the minus term keep it outside in the RHS side equation, minus R2. Now I took a minus outside and then it becomes N2 minus N1, and this is equation number 2. Now adding these two equations, by adding equation 1 and 2, it becomes, equation 1 is N2 by V1 minus N1 by U plus N1 by V minus N2 by V1 is equal to RHS side. This is N2 minus N1, N2 minus N1 common here. That's why N2 minus N1 into, then remaining terms are here 1 by R1 in the second equation, that is minus 1 divided by R2. And so plus N2 by V1 minus N2 by V1 get cancelled. Remaining terms are, so I write positive terms first, N1 by V minus N1 by U is equals to N2 minus N1 divided by, sorry, N2 minus N1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 divided by R2. See here, N1 is a common term here. So I will take it outside and send it to the RHS side. Now it becomes N1, keep it outside, remaining terms are 1 by V minus 1 by U is remaining here. And this N1 is sent it to the RHS side. So here it is in the numerator, then if it is moves to the RHS side, it becomes equal to denominator side. And this becomes N2 already is there and divided by N1 minus, already N1 is there, again 1 by term, that is N1 by N1 becomes 1. Remaining terms are 1 by R1 minus 1 divided by R2. Then, 1 minute. See, now the above equation becomes, this equation becomes, this is equation number 3. Now if object is at infinity, so if the object is at infinity, then object distance is equal to infinity. If object distance is infinity, obviously image distance is equal to focal length. Then our equation becomes this, that can be written as 1 divided by v minus 1. V can be take it as a c. We can take it as f. Then minus 1 by infinity, 1 by infinity nothing but 0. Then I put this 1 by f is equal to, remaining term is n2 by n. This equation can be written as n21, nothing but refractive index of the lens medium, that is the second medium here, with respect to surrounding medium n1. Minus 1, keep as it is here like this, and this one is 1 by r1 minus 1 divided by r2. This is an expression for lens maker formula. This is an expression for lens maker formula. So one more clarification if you want, I will give that. See, if u is equal to infinity, then how that f is v is equal to f means, imagine, see, this is a lens. So if the rays are parallel to the principal axis, if the rays are parallel to the principal axis, nothing but object definitely which is in the infinite distance. If the object is infinite distance, then only the rays are parallel to the principal axis. And once these rays are parallel to the principal axis, and all the rays which are merges at the single point after refraction through a lens, and this is what we can call it as principal focus. The distance from principal focus to optical center, which is called as object distance, which is also equal to image distance. See, hence if the object is at infinity, andre nothing but u is equal to infinity. If the u is equal to infinity, obviously v is equal to f. In such a condition, we'll get the equation, that is lens maker formula 1 by f is equal to, so that is n21 minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2, where r1 and r2 radius of curvature of the two surfaces, n1 to n21 nothing but refractive index of the lens medium with respect to surrounding medium, and f is the focal length. Focal length is nothing but it is the distance between principal focus and optical center. This is an expression for lens maker formula. The name itself indicates lens maker formula. It is useful for making the lens of a different focal length using the radius of curvature of the two surfaces. This is the derivation of the lens maker formula. Thank you.